Some TV stars make headlines for their talent, others for secrets they hoped would never see the light of day. What happens when the biggest names on the small screen get caught crossing the line between fame and forbidden? Ready to see which stars risked everything for a romance that left fans and the world stunned? Stick around, because the stories ahead are messier, riskier, and a lot more real than anything you've seen on your favorite show. Want to know how deep the scandal goes? Let's dive in. Jerry Seinfeld and Shoshana Lonstein. Imagine being the king of comedy and dating someone who's not even out of high school. That's exactly the story of Jerry Seinfeld, whose real-life romance took an awkward turn the tabloids could never resist. While America was glued to Seinfeld's sitcom, Jerry, then nearly 40, started dating Shoshana Lonstein, a 17-year-old New York high schooler and a genuine fan. Their first meeting wasn't at a glitzy premiere or a Hollywood party. It was right in the city, where Jerry noticed Shoshana and decided to strike up a conversation. From there, their story snowballed. Paparazzi snapped photos, headlines screamed, and suddenly everyone was asking, "What's Jerry thinking?" Instead of hiding, the couple made public appearances, turning their age gap into the talk of every late-night show and magazine. Shoshana, once just another student, became a celebrity overnight, fielding questions from strangers and enduring a media circus. The relationship lasted several years, outlasting most of Jerry's on-screen girlfriends and leaving a permanent stamp on his public image. Critics and fans alike couldn't decide if this was love, a lapse in judgment, or something else altogether. One thing's for sure, Jerry Seinfeld's romance with Shoshana Lonstein wasn't just a quirky footnote. It changed the way audiences saw their favorite funny man, forever blurring the line between TV fantasy and tabloid reality. Doug Hutchison and Courtney Stodden. If you thought TV drama was wild, real life can be even stranger. When Doug Hutchison, known for his intense roles on Lost and The X-Files, announced his marriage to a 16-year-old fan, Courtney Stodden, the world practically did a double-take. Doug was 51. The couple claimed their love was genuine, but the backlash was instant and loud. Courtney, an aspiring actress and superfan, first connected with Doug through an online acting workshop. Their digital chats quickly turned into real-life romance, with her parents' legal blessing to seal the deal. Overnight, Courtney and Doug became reality TV's most controversial couple, starring in everything from talk shows to tabloid covers. Doug's career took a nosedive, with agents dropping him and casting directors steering clear. Meanwhile, Courtney tried to spin the attention into stardom, but the scrutiny was relentless. The couple weathered public splits, makeups, and endless rumors, all while insisting their bond was real. People couldn't look away. Was it true love, manipulation, or both? Courtney's youth and Doug's fame created a perfect storm, and their saga became a cautionary tale for anyone who thinks fame makes you untouchable. In the end, their story proves that when you mix star power with underage infatuation, the fallout can be bigger than anything you'll see on primetime TV. Rob Lowe and a teenage fan. Rob Lowe was the golden boy of the 1980s, charming audiences on TV and in movies with his looks and easygoing style. But at the peak of his fame, Rob found himself at the center of a scandal that made headlines coast to coast. During the Democratic National Convention in 1988, Lowe, then in his early 20s and already a household name, was caught on video with two young women in a hotel room. One of them, a fan from Atlanta, was just 16. The footage leaked and spread like wildfire. Overnight, Lowe's image went from heartthrob to headline as the world debated where charisma ends and consequences begin. He faced lawsuits and public outrage, and the incident nearly derailed his career. Lowe didn't hide. He apologized, entered counseling, and faced the backlash head-on. What makes this story stick is that Lowe's comeback was as dramatic as his fall. He reinvented himself as a respected actor on shows like The West Wing and Parks and Recreation, eventually winning back fans with transparency and talent. Still, the scandal is a reminder. TV fame brings the world to your doorstep, but it doesn't give you a free pass to rewrite the rules. Rob's story is equal parts cautionary tale and Hollywood survival guide. Wilmer Valderrama and Mandy Moore. On that 70s show, Wilmer Valderrama played the awkward, love-struck foreign exchange student everyone rooted for. Off-screen, his love life sparked almost as much buzz as his TV career. The most eyebrow-raising chapter? His relationship with pop singer and actress Mandy Moore. When they first started dating, Wilmer was in his early 20s, a rising TV star, and Mandy was just 16, still basking in her first wave of fame and very much a fan of his work. Their romance became the stuff of teen magazine legend. Paparazzi captured every outing, and the couple never shied away from public appearances. But behind the hand-holding and red carpets, fans wondered about the real story. Was it just puppy love, or did the age gap mean something more? Years later, Wilmer was candid in interviews about their relationship, often discussing it with a boldness that surprised even his supporters. Mandy, meanwhile, has reflected on how young she was, describing the relationship as overwhelming and intense. Their story continues to spark debates about celebrity, youth, and what's really appropriate when fame enters the mix. For Wilmer, the romance with Mandy Moore added a complicated chapter to his resume, blending the excitement of young love with questions that still make people uncomfortable. Tyga and Kylie Jenner. In the age of social media and reality TV, every move is up for debate, and few romances lit up the internet like Tyga and Kylie Jenner's. Tyga, a rapper and reality TV regular, met Kylie when she was still a teenager and already a household name thanks to Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Rumors swirled for months, with tabloid cameras and Twitter detectives trying to figure out when their romance really began. Tyga was in his mid-20s. Kylie was 16, turning 17. They denied anything serious until Kylie's 18th birthday, when Tyga made things official with a flashy car and public posts. But for many fans, the timeline didn't add up, and whispers about when things truly started refused to fade away. Critics questioned Tyga's judgment and the role reality TV played in blurring lines that once seemed clear. Even after their split, the controversy stuck. For Tyga, it became a defining chapter of his public life. For Kylie, it marked her transformation from teen reality star to media mogul. Their story is a modern fable for the digital age. In a world where everyone's watching, some secrets refuse to stay buried. And when it comes to TV stars and young admirers, the story is never as simple as it looks on screen. Mark Salling and a teenage fan. Glee made Mark Salling famous almost overnight. As the bad boy with a soft side, he captured the hearts of fans all over the world. But off-screen, Salling's choices painted a very different picture. When he began a relationship with a 17-year-old fan, the story didn't just fly under the radar. The two met at a concert, and what started as a celebrity encounter quickly turned personal. Mark was in his late 20s and on top of the TV world. The relationship was intense, late-night messages, VIP invites, secret meetups, and soon, everyone in the Glee fandom was talking. It didn't take long for tabloids to get wind of it, and suddenly, Salling's clean-cut TV image was in question. The whispers about how and when the romance started only grew as Salling faced bigger controversies later on. For fans, it was a jarring moment. Glee sold a picture of innocence and high school romance, but the real-life drama was far messier. Salling's story is a stark reminder. Fame can make you untouchable for a while, but the truth has a way of breaking through. The scandal stuck, forever changing how audiences remembered both the actor and the show that made him famous. Elvis Presley and Priscilla Beaulieu. When it comes to iconic couples, Elvis and Priscilla Presley are royalty. But beneath the legend, there's a story that would raise eyebrows in any era. Elvis met Priscilla in Germany when she was just 14, living with her family while he was stationed overseas. He was already the king of rock and a regular on TV, making hearts throb from coast to coast. Their romance started with innocent visits and chaperoned dates, but soon, the private letters and secret meetings became the real plot. Priscilla has always described herself as a fan first, awestruck by Elvis's fame and swept into his world at a young age. When she moved to Graceland as a teen, the public didn't know the whole truth. By the time they married, Priscilla was barely an adult, and the line between star and admirer was completely blurred. Elvis and Priscilla's story became the stuff of pop culture mythology, equal parts fairy tale and cautionary tale. The marriage made headlines, but the age gap and power dynamic fueled rumors that have never really faded. For Elvis, it was love. For Priscilla, it was the ultimate fan fantasy with a twist. For everyone watching, it's a classic example of how the lines between idol and admirer can vanish in a flash of camera bulbs. Jerry Lee Lewis and Myra Gale Brown. Long before reality TV, Jerry Lee Lewis was making America gasp in black and white. The rock and roll wild man shocked the world when he married Myra Gale Brown, his 13-year-old cousin, while touring Europe in his 20s. The scandal exploded the moment the press found out, and Lewis's TV bookings vanished overnight. Myra was not just a family member but a fan, infatuated with her famous cousin and swept up in the chaos of his career. The story became tabloid gold: a teenage bride, a rock star groom, and a family tree that could only make sense in a Southern soap opera. The press called him everything but a hero, and Lewis was booted from radio playlists and TV specials almost instantly. Yet somehow, the couple stayed together for years, raising children and trying to ride out the storm. For Lewis, the fallout was a career crash he never fully recovered from. But for Myra, the experience left scars and a lifetime of questions. Their saga is a jaw-dropping chapter in TV and music history, proof that some true stories really are stranger than fiction. Bill Wyman and Mandy Smith. Even in the era of British invasion, few stories shocked as much as Bill Wyman's romance with Mandy Smith. As the Rolling Stones' bassist, Wyman was a fixture on TV specials and talk shows, often playing the charming rogue. But behind the scenes, he started seeing Mandy Smith when she was just 13. A superfan who met him backstage after a concert. Wyman was nearly 4 decades older. The relationship stayed quiet for years, but when Mandy turned 18, Wyman made it official with a wedding that only intensified the spotlight. The British press went wild, and even longtime Stones fans were left divided. Their marriage crumbled quickly, ending in a bitter divorce and a family tree that would puzzle any soap opera writer. Wyman's own son later married Mandy's mother. For Mandy, the experience was as confusing as it was glamorous. For Wyman, the backlash never truly faded. Even now, TV retrospectives and documentaries revisit the story, reminding viewers just how easily fame and fandom can spiral into something nobody ever expected. Drake Bell and young fans. Nickelodeon's Drake Bell had the teen idol game on lock. Star of Drake and Josh, he was the funny, lovable face millions of kids grew up with. But as the show faded and social media exploded, the stories off-screen got a lot darker. After his run on TV, Drake kept up a busy tour schedule, signing autographs, replying to DMs, meeting fans at every stop. It was every teenager's dream to get a message back from their TV crush, and Drake didn't exactly keep his distance. The rumors started online: private chats, secret meetups, promises to help fans with their music dreams. Some of his young admirers were years away from adulthood, just thrilled to get attention from a star. Soon, it wasn't just whispers, allegations, and reports surfaced, with authorities investigating the blurred lines between fan service and inappropriate attention. The fallout was swift. TV networks cut ties, fans reconsidered their childhood heroes, and the press revisited the question of what happens when fame gives you access and power. For Drake, the saga was a hard fall from sitcom stardom to tabloid headline. For fans, it was a gut punch, a reminder that real life doesn't always play out like your favorite laugh track scene. Sometimes, the scariest things happen when the cameras are off. Milo Yiannopoulos and TV controversy. Few names sparked debate quite like Milo Yiannopoulos, a professional provocateur who turned TV appearances into headline bait. Known for talk shows and his own short-lived TV projects, Milo was never shy about courting outrage. What drew fire wasn't just his politics, it was his history of making comments about age gap relationships and admiration from young fans. He often joked, sometimes disturbingly, about young admirers, making statements that blurred the line between shock humor and reality. Whether it was fans at campus events or digital followers, Milo relished the attention, turning it into TV sound bites and viral moments. The backlash hit hard. Protests, cancellations, and calls for networks to ban him entirely. While Milo has insisted he never broke the law, his words fueled a storm of debate about influence, responsibility, and what counts as crossing the line. TV can make a villain or a folk hero overnight, but Milo's story shows the price of living on the edge. When adoration from fans goes too far or is encouraged by the star, sometimes the real damage isn't seen until after the episode ends. R. Kelly and Aaliyah.